with the sleepovers, I think one of the things that it did for me was it. Sometimes when we put limits on our children, we handicap them so that they don't become independent,
Right.
and they don't become sure in their own decision making process.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, my mom allowing me to go different places made me more of an independent person, made me be able to think for myself. She taught me, okay, these are the things that you look for when you go spend the night over people's house. And I also saw her talk to people, how, the people that I was going to spend the night over their house. I saw her talk to them, and I listened to the conversation. So I also got a chance to know, look ahead of time. If I'm going to ask my mom, can I go spend the night somewhere, I know these things have to be in place. So I know that the parents have to be there, that they're going to want to talk. My mom's going to want to talk to them, So it made me even think in advance to have these things in place. Because if they weren't, I already know the answer was going to be no. So,
yeah, that's very important for the parents to meet up and discuss. Okay, this is who I am.
But then you have to be this day and age right now. I'm sorry. That's one barrier that I'm still going to be strict on because there's too many sick people out here. You can be sitting there talking to this person, parent, and they can be smiling in your face, and as soon as they close that door, they're totally something else different.
Yeah,
so that's some part of the law that I wish not to get onto. So therefore, I don't allow her to spend the night out a lot.
Right.
But there are a lot of different other barriers that my mother put up for me that I try to break. As far as extra activities, I wasn't able to participate in anything but band. So therefore, I let her do other things, gymnastics and other things to try to find herself. I'll let you go to your friend's house and play or whatever, but at a certain time, you will be home.
What about kids coming over to?
Oh, they come over there. Oh, they come over. They be spending the night. They do everything. They come over.
Parents can call.
The kids love me. They love to come over. They love to spend the night.
What about kids going outside? Because I see parents don't let their kids go outside like how they used to.
I have a problem on that one because, okay, my child being 9, and the way I am in my household is different the way a next neighbor could be in their household. I go out there and listen to little girls that's 8 and 7 years old using words that I don't use out of my mouth. I feel pretty uncomfortable with letting my daughter go out there, even though I do teach her that, okay, that you're not to use those type of words, and she knows better than that. But then when you have an 8-year-old, 7-year-old out here, and you can just think about it, you feeding yourself into it too if you're sitting around it.
That just leaves good discussions for you and her to discuss. This is what a young lady doesn't do.
And I understand that, but curiosity is a big thing because
that's all of us.
With the kids out there, they'll be talking about 7 years old. What you know about a boy? Why are you on the cell phone talking to a boy? Why are you down the street hanging around a little boy's neck?
But you know what? I guess because we all grew up different. That's no different than when I grew up.
Right.
Like kids been talking like that for.
I didn't talk about boys.
You did, but I'm saying that what I'm trying to say is that's nothing new under the sun. That's what I'm saying.
You talked about boys when you were 7.
Yes, let me just say this. My mom raised me very well. My grandmother raised me very well. So I was in an environment that occurred, but I didn't necessarily partake the way the other people did, which is why I could discipline myself now from certain things because I've been around things, and so I know that I don't have to partake in that just because it's
just like in the household. My mother smoked. I don't smoke. I actually can't stand cigarette smoke. I tolerate it sometimes, but you don't have to do it, and you being exposed to it constantly. It's really on you being independent, free of your own self thoughts and opinions, and not just kind of being succumbed to what they're thinking and how they're feeling and wanting to be an image of that other person. So you do have an independent child, you do have a smart child, and we have to trust our children at least to right here. Maybe not all the way down there, but if you don't give them enough freedom,
they take it at a certain age.
They will find it, and it may not be the picture you want.
And then like with girls, it'll end up a lot of times with girls, it'll end up in early pregnancies because they were so sheltered that they didn't get a chance to fall a little bit and see that, you know, and I mean, I just experienced that a lot growing up with a lot of my friends. Like, the majority of my friends growing up ended up pregnant between like 14 and 17. And their parents were a lot stricter than what my mom was. Now, my mom wasn't like, okay, you can go do whatever you want. There were boundaries, but we kind of like fell and got up and fell, you know, it kind of changed, you know what I'm saying? And I just really appreciate that particular aspect of my mom's parents. And so that's something that I would take from my mom's parents and implement it in my own parenting.
I took a little bit from everybody that I was.
But I asked that because when I let the boys go outside, I be so nervous, like they gonna go out in the street or you know.
I'm still like that.
I'm like, you know, like, and you know, people are like, well, they boys, you gotta let them be boys, you know. So it's just like, where do you find a balance?
But see, they don't pay. I understand exactly what you're saying because. Boys, they playing ball, the ball goes in the street, they run in the street without looking both ways to get the ball.
So then do we just shut them down and say, you can't go outside at all? I don't think that that's right either. But at the same time, it's the only thing that gives us a peace of mind.
We gotta get that fence. You gotta get that fence, put that fence up. Don't you go outside this fence, baby. That's crazy.
The thing is, if we put all of our fears in our children, it's gonna hinder.
You can't do that.
But we do that.
We do that.
I'm very scared of, you know why I'm very scared of my kids getting hit by a car? Because I was hit by a car when I was younger. So when they're outside, I may be having a conversation with all of you, but I'm steady looking out that window. Just making sure that they don't touch that street because of my fears. And they're just like, you know,
regular. Those are your fears.
But those are my fears, and I don't say it to them. I don't repeat it to them. I don't say... You know, I say, of course, be careful crossing the street, and you have to be mindful of that and watch if the wall goes out there. Don't go out there, just call me. You know, but I don't tell them, I don't want you going outside because I'm scared you're going to get hit by a car.
Because you put that fear in them.
I know, I don't say that.
No, but I'm saying you will.
Because I will put it in them, and I know for a fact that it will hurt them.
And it's very important to let the children go ahead and have their freedom. You have to trust and just pray because, I mean, if you keep them cooped up, I mean, when they get out there, they're not going to know what to do.
No.
And then what you
because they are very vulnerable.
Yes.
Very vulnerable.
Well.
Yes. Let me tell you what, a girl who never gets a chance to go out in the neighborhood, the first chance she get, a guy drops some nice game on her, boom. Versus, you know, somebody that they parents let them go outside, but okay, you need to be right here. You don't need to be all over there. Or when the light come on, you know, it's like you go outside with boundaries versus not going outside at all. You get to see a little bit. You get to hear him saying that to some other girl, and you're like, wait, please, I heard you saying that to such and such. You know what I'm saying? Versus
and then you're not doing role playing too. To make you familiar with different scenarios. I do that with my kids all the time, especially with, you know, child molestation. I give them scenarios and tell them, if somebody comes to you and say, this is the first thing I tell them. And right now my kids are like tired. They're tired of hearing, Mom, we already know. If a man tells you, if you don't do this for me, I'm going to kill your parents, he's lying.
That's right.
Trust that he's not going to kill us. He's just trying to scare you into thinking that he's going to hurt us. But you ignore that, get your butt out of there, run as fast as you can, yell, scream, kick, bite, because he is not going to kill us. I tell my kids that all the time. Yeah. Please don't let him say he's going to kill us because you know it's not going down. Mm-hmm. But you have to do the role playing. You have to make them familiar with the conversations and tell them, this is how you react to this. This is what you do. You go into the bathroom, what do y'all know what to do? Wash our hands, make sure our pants don't touch the ground, and if anybody touch us, run and yell and scream and call for help. All the time. So that's how I do right now. I constantly do the role play.
Well, that's, you know, it's good that you do that. It's real good that you do that.
As a woman with a boy, I always wonder about this. At what age do you let them go into the bathroom by themselves? Because
it was so hard for a while. If your father wasn't there,
7 by 8,
yeah. If your father was there, he would go with them.
Right.
But then I had 2 boys, so they would go. But there were times I opened up the men's bathroom. Y'all good? Oh, okay.
inside the restroom when he go in there,
Right.
and wait until he come out.
Oh,
Like when we on trips, traveling and
Oh,
stuff.
definitely.
No,
Oh, I